Thank you so much for joining us here at the gallery of Mr. Impaler. Mr. Impaler is not home at the moment, so we are free to peruse his vast collection of artworks. I have selected some for you today that I think that you will like, and I will take you through them. I would love to show you some of his favorites from his collection, as well as some of my personal favorites. That's what we do here at Vlad the Impaler's Manor House. Now, can I get you anything before we start? No? Good. We just like to make sure that nobody is thirsty here. So we're going to start with the pictures that you see behind me. In this series, as you will see, Mucha combined fresh but characteristically delicate colours with his usual style of floral motifs, and the women in the pictures are set within these natural surroundings, each slightly different to reflect her mood, and her mood is of course related to the time of day that she has been ascribed. And in the style of Mucha, each tableau is set within an elaborate ornamental frame. Now, before I begin to show you these photos individually, I will tell you just a little bit about the artist that we have come to know and love here at Mr. Impaler's personal collection. Mucha's full name is Alfons Maria Mucha, and he was a Czech Art Nouveau artist known best for his distinct style. He produced many paintings, as well as illustrations and adverts, postcards, designs. As he worked in France for much of his career, he was also known as Alphonse Mucha. As you will see in these pictures, Mucha's nymph-like women, set against the seasonal views of the countryside, breathed new life into the classic theme. In the 4 panels that I will show you here, Mucha captures the moods of the times of day. Now, maybe you are wondering which picture is which time of day. So let us start with the one on your far left here. This picture is called Night's Rest, and it depicts, of course, the act of sleeping. You could, of course, begin or end the series with this piece, but we have chosen to begin with the solace of sleep. The woman in this picture is very relaxed in a peaceful slumber, and she's crowned by the gleaming moon and the dark silhouettes of trees. The atmosphere is quite moody, but we understand that she is still safe and sound. The next in the series is called Morning Awakening. The figure in this picture appears to emerge into the daylight as one emerges into full consciousness in the morning. The softened light tells us that the day is still new, and the lady's supple, unhurried pose depicts, I think, the sleepy progress of morning. In the next picture, our subject really comes to life, so the deep yellows and the bright blues capture the full brightness of day, and indeed, that is the title of this piece, The Brightness of Day. Our subject seems to fix us with a more active gaze here, and she seems to really relish in this pose and in her body, as though she is really energized by the daylight and it is giving her life. And the final piece here is called Evening Contemplation, and in fact you can see that Mucha has painted Reverie du Soir on the bottom here. This is a wonderful depiction of that quiet, focused, contemplative time in the evening when we're still awake, but we are turning within our psyche to examine the day's events and to prepare for tomorrow. And the autumnal colours really give it the sense of the turning of the day, and you've got this gusting wind that seems to hail some sort of portent. And I think that this is an accurate metaphor to describe that evening time and that reverie. So, altogether, this is a truly wonderful work and a softly sensual series which I think beautifully portrays some universal aspects of the human experience. As you can see too, Alphonse Mucha has a very distinct style, which we would identify as Art Nouveau. But how did this style come about? Well, it came about chiefly with Mucha and his contemporaries, of course. Mucha moved from Prague to Paris in 1887 to study art, but in addition to his studies, he worked at producing a magazine and advertising illustrations, so he was chiefly an illustrator. You can still actually find many of these simply by searching the internet. Now, around Christmas of 1894, something remarkable happened. Mucha actually stumbled upon a print shop where there was a sudden and unanticipated need for a new poster to advertise a play featuring Sarah Bernhardt. She was, of course, the most famous actress in Paris at the time. So Mucha, you could say, was really in the right place at the right time. And so he volunteered to produce a lithographed poster within a short time frame. And on the 1st of January 1895, the advertisement for the play actually was posted in the city, and it was for the play Gismonda. The poster that he created attracted quite a lot of attention, and Sarah Bernhardt herself was so satisfied with this beautiful depiction that she actually began a 6-year artistic relationship with Mucha, a contract, if you will, which was, of course, the catalyst to his long and very successful career. So the rest, as they say, is history. Mucha produced many paintings, posters, ads, book illustrations, as well as designs for objects such as jewellery and carpets, and he also did wallpaper and even theatre sets. He was very prolific. Mucha's works frequently feature a beautiful young woman in flowing robes, and she's often surrounded by flowers and very often ginkgo leaves, which sometimes formed these sort of halos behind their heads. It's a very soft, very feminine, very whimsical style. One of the largest collections of Mucha's works is not in fact here in Mr. Impaler's collection. It is in the possession of the former world #1 professional tennis player, Ivan Lendl. This collection was actually exhibited publicly for the first time in 2013 in Prague, and I personally was very, very lucky to be able to go along and see it. And I must tell you that though I absolutely loved Mucha's work before, I think that being able to see so many of the original works in their big, beautiful poster form actually cemented Mucha as my all-time favorite artist. And that's why it's such a pleasure to work here for Mr. Impaler's gallery. And I hope that you like Mucha too. So now we are going to move on to the collection just over here, where we will see one very, very, very world famous artist and one other very well celebrated artist, which you may or may not have heard of. Both of them are absolutely beautiful pictures, and I would like you to keep in mind while we are looking at them whether you can sense some sort of theme between the two, even though they were painted at very different times and by very different artists. So, right this way.